Hey everybody, Logan here. With the Nintendo Switch 2 on the horizon, I thought it was about time to maybe discuss what we would like to see in the Switch 2 Pro Controller. With a plethora of companies out there making all kinds of banger controllers that, well, just make the Switch Pro Controller kind of obsolete, especially with a lower price. For example, GameSir Supernova, fantastic controller, as well as the 8-bit Do Ultimate 2C. There are plenty of other controllers out there from companies like Beitong and Easy SMX and a number of other companies, right? But what do we want to see in a Pro controller for the Switch 2? So there are a couple of features that people really miss that weren't included in the Switch Pro controller, mainly analog buttons and triggers, of course. The digital triggers, that just didn't cut it. People were always looking for a way to add analog goodness into their controllers, but too bad Switch games don't support it. So, hopefully, with this next generation, the Switch 2, the Pro controller and games will actually have analog triggers. That's a big thing. That's what most people have really complained about because they're just digital triggers. Also, we'd like to see an enhanced D-pad. That standard D-pad we've had since the Wii, well, that ain't gonna cut it anymore. People want that better style that's usually shown in the 8-bit Do. Some people like that disc pad. Me, no. I like that 8-bit Do Super Nintendo style, and I think that would be better all around instead of putting that Xbox disc style. I don't think it's really good for the majority of games. Maybe a game here and there, but that 8-bit Do style is definitely, well, the Super Nintendo style. Nintendo should definitely bring that back. Now, sticks. TMR, preferably, but most likely we'll see Hall Effect. We want to see, at very minimum, Hall Effect. TMR would definitely be the way to go. Something tells me that ain't gonna happen. It's probably gonna be the standard ALPS, but hey, Nintendo, please at least give us Hall Effect sticks, and if you really want to be nice to us, TMR. As someone who covers these controllers all the time, there is no reason you can't put in TMR because the price difference between TMR and Hall Effect is very minimal. From what I've seen, especially these companies that are putting out controllers with TMR sticks like 8-bit Do with the Ultimate 2 and still keeping that price down. You're looking at still a $50 range controller with TMR sticks. Now, I understand that people are going to say, hey, they can still get drift. No, these are designed specifically to not get drift. There are people that claim that Hall Effect sticks get drift day one. No, whatever you're doing, you're breaking your controller. Stop doing that. So Nintendo, with your history of stick drift with Joy-Con, maybe it's time to jump over to at least Hall Effect. Hey, maybe be nice and give us TMR. I don't know about that. I don't know if they're going to do that with the Joy-Con or with the Pro Controller, but it would be nice to see at least Hall Effect sticks in the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. What are the hertz going to be? The Switch runs at around 120 hertz, and that's awful. For the polling rate, that's just awful. I've seen it as high as 150 standard, but you're looking at a lot of controllers running at that 120 hertz, and I think that's really, really, really low. Trying to keep it around 150 for the better ones, yeah, that's great. But I've seen some as low as running at 105, 115. No, let's boost them numbers, Nintendo. Give us, at a bare minimum, try to give us 250 to 500 hertz in the controller. Yes, everybody wants 1,000 hertz polling rate. Probably not gonna happen. I'm assuming, just making the guess, 250 to around 500 hertz is what it's realistic to ask for in a next Switch Pro controller, Switch 2 Pro controller. Now, other people are going to ask for programmable back flappy paddles. That doesn't happen. That will not happen. That won't happen. programmable extra buttons. It's just not something that first-party manufacturers do in their standard release controllers. So that won't be a thing. Maybe they'll release a Switch 2 Elite Pro, whatever, something. You know how we got the Elite Series controllers for Xbox and the Edge series for PlayStation. Maybe Nintendo will do something like that further down the line now that the Switch 2 is significantly more powerful and maybe much more of a competitor when it comes to games like, I don't know, online FPSs or third-person shooters, your Fortnites, your Crysis, stuff like that. You know, just your first-person shooter, third-person shooter. And then you'll get a lot more functionality out of a Switch 2 Pro, Elite, whatever, right? I'm thinking, what else could we have that is a necessity? I would not say mechanical buttons. I think most first-party companies with their standard fare offering will be membrane. Maybe the liquid silicone membrane that MobilePad uses, that might be better. Still keep it inexpensive, and you have a lot longer lifespan for those button presses. Maybe liquid membrane, yeah. Liquid silicone membrane, yeah. Definitely would be something to ask for. Yeah, so I think that's going to be pretty much everything. You're going to have those grips that you have. You're going to have your wireless with NFC, Bluetooth. That's your standard fare these days. So if you really want something that is really going to be next level Nintendo, you really need to just listen to us. And bare minimum, analog triggers. Bring that back. Bring back analog triggers. Give us Hall effect or TMR sticks and up the polling rate. At very, very minimum, do that for us. Hey, you can add your lights, you can add whatever. I don't think it's necessary. But analog triggers. Higher polling rate with Hall effect or TMR sticks. You know, we can go on forever about adding different functionality, mechanical buttons, laser etched grips. There's so much stuff, you know, turbo and program. We can go on forever. But what are the three most important things right there? Because Nintendo, you're a bit behind with that Switch Pro controller, even though it's an amazing controller in terms of just game feel. The way that controller fits in the hand is just fantastic. But my extra thing would be that D-pad. I'm not a big fan of that D-pad. Go back to the Super Nintendo style. Shoot, even that Nintendo... Well, the Nintendo 64 D-pad was the Super Nintendo D-pad. And then the GameCube D-pad was technically just a smaller version of that. It hadn't changed until the Wii, and the Wii, we've seen this one. So Nintendo, please bring that back. Yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. What you would like to see in a Switch 2 Pro controller. Bare minimum, keep in mind what these companies do for their, again, standard fare controller, their initial release, not their Elite controllers or their Edge controllers, but their standard fare. What would you like to see in at least the basic controller, basic Pro controller, like Nintendo calls it? What would you like to see in it? Now, even if you want to go above and beyond and say throw everything out there for a Pro Elite controller, throw that down there too. I want to see what you guys think about what Nintendo should put, or what your dream Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller is. Yeah, let's go down the rabbit hole. Why not? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. God bless you all. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.